Hi everyone, my name's Kiersten. I am the physiotherapist that runs the movement therapy class with the Cerebral Palsy Association of BC. And I have had the pleasure of running the class for the last couple months, and it's been super, super fun. I absolutely love it. Um, and we've had some requests from the participants in the class that they would like a video version of the class so that if they're not able to attend one of our live classes, our weekly live classes, that they can still do the exercises along with a video of me doing the class. So that is what today is for. So I'm hoping that there also might be some new people who haven't attended the class yet that might get a little feeler for what the class looks like with this video as well. So if you're brand new, hello, welcome. It is so nice to have you here. And if you're someone who's attended the class a million times, hello, it's nice to see you. So the way that the class is structured is that we have 3 different parts to our class. In total, the class is typically around 45 to 50 minutes in length. And the goal of the class is to be moving for most of that time. So that is our big goal. Back to our 3 different parts. So our first part is our cardio section, which usually runs about 20 to 25 minutes of the class. This is where we get our heart rate up, we are moving, we are grooving, we're doing all sorts of fun things. So that is our first section. Our second section is our strength class, where we work on specific muscle groups, trying to get them really nice and strong, and target some areas that you might feel like you're lacking in your day-to-day life. The last part of our class, our third part, is our stretch and relaxation. So we do a nice cool down, stretching out the muscle groups that we were working in our strength section or in our cardio section, and usually focusing a little bit on our deep breath as well. So those are our 3 parts. What are you going to need for this class? So hopefully not a lot. We do a variety of different exercises that can either be chair-based or they can be standing. So depending on your ability and where you want to practice your exercising today, we've got options for both. If you are sitting in a chair, please, please, please make sure that it is a really sturdy chair. I'm going to use my dining set chair, which is nice and stable. I would say if you're in a wheelchair, that's a great option. If you want to do it on the couch, might be a little tricky, but might be a good option too. If you are on a rolly computer chair, probably not a great option for exercise. We want to make sure everyone stays really nice and safe. The other things that you will 100% need is a water bottle. You're going to sweat, you're going to be working pretty hard, so make sure we hydrate as we go throughout the class. You are always welcome to take a water break if you need one. So make sure you have a water bottle handy. The last thing is optional, which is any exercise equipment that you might have at home. So this could be like free weights if you want to get some extra weight for our upper body section, or if you have some of the like stretchy TheraBands, please make sure you bring those in for when you do the exercising. If you're like, Kiersten, I don't have any equipment, no problem. We've got lots of different options for ways to make things tricky without any equipment. So don't feel pressured that you need to go out and buy something for this class. But if you happen to have it, bring it along and maybe I'll show you something new that you can practice at home with it. All right, my last disclaimer before we start the class is if you are working with an injury, please, please, please listen to your body. This actually goes if you don't have an injury as well. If you are feeling like something doesn't feel right when we're doing an exercise, don't just push through the pain. No pain, no gain is not a motto that I ever work with my clients. Pain is super important and it's telling us that our bodies are not super happy with what we're doing. So listen to your bodies. If something doesn't feel right, great opportunity to take a water break, catch your breath, catch up with us for the next exercise, all right? I don't want to hear anybody getting injured from this class. It should be fun, stress-free, and not painful. All right? Okay, if we're ready to go, let's jump into our chair and start our cardio session. Okay, let's go. So when we are sitting in our chair, we want to find ourselves sitting closer to the edge so our feet are touching the ground. Let me scoot back just a little bit. So I'm sitting right on the edge and my back is not on the backrest. So immediately I'm finding really nice posture and I'm turning on my tummy muscles right from the beginning. Our first exercise here is going to be our seated march. This can also be done in standing if you prefer to stand. So alternating our arms and our legs, getting a nice swing Amazing, good job. Okay, so our seated march is a huge part of our cardio session. This is where we're going to come to in between our harder exercises to keep our heart rate elevated. So with our cardio session, I want us to be moving the whole time. So even if we need a break, I want us to be either moving our arms or moving our legs, or maybe both. So we're keeping up that moving. It's not a break where we get to sit and rest and stand still. We're doing an active break if we need a break. All right. Now, if you're like, Kiersten, this doesn't work for me, I don't want to move my legs today, or it's not in my wheelhouse to move my legs right now. This can be totally great. Just sitting still, legs can be nice and steady, and swinging those arms can be great for cardio. All right. Okay. Oh gosh, I got to make sure I'm alternating my arms and legs. Here we go. So our first exercise here is our nice big side reaches. We have 10 more marches here before we start. So let's start our countdown. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Amazing. So with our side reaches, we reach out into the side, opening up the side of our rib cage and switching to the other side. Just like that. Moving our bodies maybe for the first time today. So taking it nice and easy as we get moving. Now, if you would like to make this more challenging, especially for our balance, the way that we do that is we extend our same leg as arm out to the side. So we create a really nice line all the way from our toes to our fingers up, getting a nice big stretch. Nice work. Remember to find our breath here as well. Breathing is super important all the time, but especially when we exercise as well. Great work, everyone. Big reach. Big reach. You got it. Nice job. Okay, let's do 10 more. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. You got it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Right away, we are back to that seated march. This is where we catch our breath. So take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. That's nice. Try that one more time. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. Awesome job, everyone. Great. Okay, we're one exercise down, like only a million to go. No, I'm just kidding. Not quite a million. Okay, sitting up nice and tall, finding our great posture as we march here. That's it, really activating our tummy muscles here. You got it. Okay, let's start our countdown here. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Our next exercise is our seated twists. We bring our arms to a cactus and we twist around to the right, and then we twist around to the left. So this is great for getting nice mobility in our spinal, but also activating our oblique muscles, so the muscles that are on the sides of our tummy. So getting them all warmed up and ready to exercise. Nice job, everyone. You can see as I practice this, I'm practicing with really nice posture. So I'm not practicing being hunched over in our poor posture. It also makes it really hard to rotate here. So I'm sitting up nice and tall, twisting around, trying to see really far behind me, checking that blind spot. That's it. Good work. Keep it up. And we're breathing. Good work, everyone. Okay, 10 more here. 10, 9, 8, 7, you got it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straight back into our marches. That's it. Good work. All right. So we've opened up our side body. We've started to open up our spine, doing those nice twists to activate our oblique muscles on the sides of our tummy. Our next exercise, we're going to start focusing a little bit more on our abdominals. We get that request quite a bit with the class, that people really want to work on their core. So let's practice it now. All right, keep up that marching. I can feel my heart beating faster and taking deeper breaths. All great signs that we're working on our cardio. So I hope you guys feel that as well. All right, let's start our countdown. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we are going to start with our cross body crunches. So our arms are going to be in our cactus again. We are bringing our opposite elbow to our opposite knee. So we can twist down and leave feet planted on the floor. That would be option one. So if you find that balance can be a little bit tricky, I would suggest leaving your feet on the floor. If you're like, I really actually want to target my balance a little bit in this class, a great way to do that in this exercise is to lift your knee up off the floor. So balancing on that one leg as the other leg comes across to meet your opposite elbow. Great work. All right, pick whatever option suits you best today. And we're gonna stay there, find our breath. Nice work, everyone. So even though I'm contracting as I bring my elbow to my knee, I'm still trying to find that nice tall posture in between. So there should be a difference in your spine as you do this. So you're really feeling that crunch in our core. Good work. All right, let's start our countdown here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Straight back into our marches. Nice job, you guys. All right. Next coming up is our knee tucks. So if you've come to the class before, you'll know that our knee tucks have 4 different variations to them. So if you know which variation you prefer to do, please go ahead and get started as we talk. Otherwise, I'm going to talk us through all the 4 different options for this exercise, and then you can pick which one suits you best. Sounds good? All right, here we go. We're marching. Here we go. All right, let's start our countdown. So we've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. So our first variation for our knee tucks is going to be taking our hands, placing them either on the seat of the chair or on armrests if we have armrests. We place our hands there, we bring one knee up to our chest, contracting our tummy muscles, and then we sit up tall in between. Then we switch to the other side, and we just alternate between left and right here. So we're finding that core, that lower abdominal especially, right here. Okay, this is option number 1, a really great starting place, especially if you have some balance concerns. This can be a great option for us. If you're like, okay, I've done a few and this is feeling a little bit easy, our second option is going to be lifting, or I should say, keeping our hands in the same place, so on the seat of the chair or on our armrests, but this time we're going to lift both knees up and down, and up and down. Now, I should also say, for the sake of this video, I'm lifting my knees pretty high. That's not a requirement for this exercise. You could just lift your knees a little bit up and then down, and a little bit up and down. So see what works best for you. I find in the video it's easier if I make my movements a little bit bigger for people to follow. Okay, so that's option number 2. So hands on, both legs up. Now, our next step is hands come off, they hover in the air, and we go back to lifting one leg and then lifting the other leg, okay? So this is option number 3. A little bit trickier for balance, I will say, but a super, super great option. The fourth and last option is our most tricky. That's hands free, lifting both knees at the same time. Here we go. Whew. And sitting up tall, and whew. Really firing that lower abdomen. Good work. Okay, I just talked a bunch. I should have given that disclaimer before, that sometimes I get on totally different tangents and I forget to count how many. So let's do 10 more starting now. 10, 9, 8, 7, good work. We've got 6, 5, holy guacamole, that was hard. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work, everyone. March it out. Okay, so we are probably about a little bit more than halfway through our cardio section. Tune into your body, see how you feel, okay? We're halfway through. So we're halfway through our gas tank for our cardio. Make sure that we keep our energy levels up. So if we're feeling like this would be a great time to take a little break, please go for it. Pause the video, take a little break, come back and meet us when you're ready. If you're like, oh yeah, Kiersten, I've got another half of my gas tank, no problem. Continue on with us. Here we go. So at this part of the cardio, I challenge our participants of the class to do some sprints. So basically that's taking our normal walking speed and cranking it up a notch. So going fast. Today we're gonna do 3 different sprints, all 10 seconds long, okay? They're not like crazy long, but just to get that heart rate really nice and elevated as we go. So we are gonna start our sprint in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go, pick it up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, you got it, 3, 2, 1. Awesome job. 2 deep breaths in between before we start our next one. So back to a nice even pace. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. One more deep breath in and a deep breath out. Here we go. Sprint number 2 for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You got it for 3, 2, and 1. Back to our nice even pace. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. That's it. We only have one more. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. Pick it up. Here we go. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome job. Back to our normal pace for our march. Good work, everyone. That was our sprints. Easy peasy, right? I knew you could do it. All right. So we have our next series of our cardio is our boxing series. So getting some more core really worked, arms working, balance. We do it all in this section. That's why I sometimes save it for last. So we practice all the other things before. So the boxing comes easy. I'll show you what it looks like though, so don't worry. Okay, here we go. Let's start our countdown here. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, when it comes to our boxing, like I said previously, we can challenge our balance with this one as well. So how we do that is how we position our legs. So when our legs are wider apart, we create a wider base of support. So this is a really good place to be if we're having troubles with balance. We want to widen our base to give us the biggest support system, our biggest foundation to move from. But if we're like, I really want to challenge my balance and work on it, the way that we do that is bring our legs closer together. So creating a narrower base of support to balance from. So with our boxing, this is a choose your own adventure. So if you want to be a little bit wider legs and have a sturdier base, or if you want to have narrow legs and challenge your balance, you pick what you want to do today. All right. Our first is going to be our straight cross punches. So our hands are fisted. They scoop underneath our chin. We keep tummy really tight and engaged, and we punch one arm forward and then the other arm forward. So cross punches here. I like to exhale as I extend my arm. Inhale as I bring my arm back towards my chin. Okay, so as we box here, we're really thinking of extending through our arm. So getting a really nice fully extended elbow there if we can. We are also thinking that maybe we want to vary the speed. So if we want to make it trickier, we go a little bit faster. If we're like, Okay, no, wait, this is new. I need to slow it down to get the pattern. Totally fine as well, okay? So here we go. We've got 20 more punches here. We've got 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. We're straight back into our marching in between. Good work, everyone. All right. We've got one more boxing set, and then we do a combination, which I'll talk about when we get there. But our next boxing set is our cross body punches. So I'll show you what that looks like in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so choose your base where you want to be. Maybe for this one, I'll be a little wider just to show what that looks like. Our hands are fisted, they scoop under our chin again. We take our left arm, we punch it across our body towards the right side, and then we come back to the center. Same thing on the other side. So our right arm goes across our body towards the left and comes back and meets in the center. And we just stay there. We alternate back and forth. So really twisting activates our oblique muscles in our tummy. So a little bit of core, a little bit of arms, a little bit of balance. I love it. Again, this can be done as fast or as slow as what's comfortable for you. So I'm going to stay at a sort of an even pace for those of you who might want to follow along with me. But if you have some experience boxing, or maybe you've been to the class a little bit and you want to challenge yourself, go a little faster. You can do it. I know you can. Okay, we've got 20 more here. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. You got it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome work. Right back into our marching. Whew. I can feel my arms worked out. Nice. All right. Good work, everyone. Okay. We've got 2 exercises left in our whole cardio sequence. So we're almost there, guys. I can see the finish line. We're there. Okay. We've got our boxing combination and we've got our jumping jacks. If you're like, jumping jacks, how the heck are we going to do that in a chair? I'll show you. Don't worry. I've got some tricks up my sleeve. For our boxing combination, we put together several different punches in a different pattern. So we're working a lot on our same things. So our core, our arms, and our balance, as well as a little bit of coordination that can sometimes be a bit tricky. So we're going to stick with a pattern that we've done before in the class. But I do try to change it up week to week. So if you come to a class and you're expecting it to look the same, this one is the one that does change sometimes. Okay, here we go. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, pick your base, fisted hands under our chin. We're doing 2 punches to the front and then 2 to the side. 2 to the front and 2 to the side. So both of these punches we've practiced already in this class. So I challenge you to go a little faster. I'm going to say again, at a little bit of an even pace for those that might need to watch and follow along. But if you're feeling like, oh, this is pretty comfortable, pick it up a notch. You've got it. I know you can do it. Good work, everyone. Okay, let's do 10 more of the full sequence. So this is 10, 9, 8, 7, you got it, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Whoa, I got a little mixed up there. Oh my goodness. It's tricky. The coordination piece is tricky. Okay, this is our last march. We got it. We've done it. You guys are awesome. We've worked our heart rate out. We've done all those great things, but we still have one more to do. Our jumping jacks. Okay, here we go. Counting down in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So our jumping jacks in the chair. We start with it coming down, hands on our lap. We open up into a big X. We repeat that, coming down and then a big X, or maybe it's a star. You got it. Now, if this is feeling great, you stay here, okay? We started with some smaller movements. Now we've worked our range of motion. We've got our bodies warmer. So now we can do some big, expansive movement. If you think, Kiersten, that is so not in my wheelhouse for today, we've got a couple options here. So we can just do the arms and practice our upper body. So a great opportunity to open up through our chest and then come back down. Okay, arms is great. Maybe it's legs. So we can maybe hold on to the seat and we're jumping our legs out and in, out and in. Maybe we take our hands off and we do it hands free, out and in, out and in. Good work. So pick whatever option suits you best today. For our last 10, 9, 8. You got it. 6 or 7. Oh my goodness. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome, awesome work, everyone. You have a well-deserved water break for the next few seconds. If you need a longer break, please feel free to pause the video and take a longer break if you need it. I don't know about you guys. I definitely worked up a sweat there. Whew. It's tiring moving for that long, but so important to our general health to work our heart muscle. Our hearts are a muscle and that needs to be worked. So we need to elevate it so that it stays really strong and healthy. So if you find that this was really hard, maybe this is the section of the video that we practice every, twice a week or something. It would be awesome to practice that. Maybe that's all we can practice in a week. We only have 20 minutes or so to work out. Great options. If you're like, I'm ready to get buff, the next section is for you. So if you've got weights or bands, please feel free to grab those. Mine are on the floor here. And I'll show you how to use those. Otherwise, I'll show you how to use just some body weight too. All right. We are going to start with our arm circles. We're going to start with our arms. We're going to work down to our toes. And then as we stretch, we'll work in the reverse order. So I hopefully won't forget any muscle groups. That's how I remember. Okay. So our arm circles, we extend our arms long by our sides. We do big circles up towards the front and down towards the back. So first finding that nice range of motion in our shoulder blades. So big circles. And then after that feels really comfortable, we've, had all our clicks and cracks and everything, we make our circles smaller and smaller until they get to be about the size of a loonie. And then we hold them there in a nice strong T position for 10, 9, 8, 7, you got it, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Right away, we go up towards the back, down towards the front in the opposite direction. Nice work, everyone. Okay, so we start with our range of motion, and then we get a little bit smaller and smaller until we're about the size of a loonie. And we hold there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That one's a burner. Shake it out if you need to. All right, so we're gonna start our next exercise with the bands, and we're gonna work on our lats. Our lats are our muscles that run down the sides of our rib cage, and they are really important along with our triceps when we do transfers. So if you transfer to and from a wheelchair or to and from one chair or another into the car, these are muscles that you want to make sure are very strong because you're going to need them to transfer. Okay, so I'm going to take my red band to start with today. I'm going to pop it in one hand and I'm just going to give it one loop. I'm going to hold it up straight above, sort of at a diagonal above my head. I'll turn this way so you can see. My other hand is going to come lower on the band. All I do is I pull that lower hand down to the side, down into a straight position, okay? If we don't have the band, we can definitely do this without the band. We're gonna stick with doing one side, so we are all together today. So both hands reach up, we pull this arm down, 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 thinking elbow is driving towards our rib cage, and then we extend back up. So pulling down and coming back up, pulling down and coming back up. Nice. Now, when we're working without resistance bands, we can create resistance in our own bodies. And the way that I like to do that is with imagery. So if you don't have a band today, what I want you to think about is that you've got a piece of gum stuck between your top hand and you're pulling it apart with your other hand. Okay, so create that tension within your own body. Okay, let's stay here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Shake it out if you need to. We are switching to the other side. This time I'm going to use my band. So I'm going to loop it with one hand. My other hand comes up. Oops, that's a bit too tight. And I drive it down this way. Nice work, everyone. You got it. And as well, when I'm here and doing all this upper body stuff, I'm also thinking of my posture. So I'm always getting a core exercise with this. That's it. Okay, 10 more here. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You got it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Shake it out if you need to. Our next exercise is our chest press, or I guess it's a modified chest press. So I'll demonstrate without the band to start with today. So if we don't have a band, both arms reach up and above our head. We pull our elbows down, but they stay wide this time. So before we were really thinking about bringing them towards our rib cage, this time they stay wide. And again, I'm still using that same image. So I'm thinking there's a piece of gum stuck to the ceiling and I'm pulling it down, keeping my elbows nice and long to the side. Thinking really carefully about our posture here. So we don't want to overextend through our spine, so we're reaching back this way. We want to stay nice and tall in our chest. Okay, if you don't have a band, that's your exercise. Way you go. If you do have a band, wrapping it up a little bit always helps. Same thing, both arms reach up and above. We pull down with the band resisting our hands from pulling apart. Nice job. Tummy tight. Good work. Okay, we've got 10, 9, 8, you got it, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Good work, everyone. All right, our next is part of our shoulder girdle, or our stability muscles for our shoulders. So we're going to work on our external rotators here. So again, if we don't have a band, it looks really similar. We pop our hands out in front, sort of like a robot. We think about there being a piece of gum that's attached to our hands. Keeping our elbows squeezing beside our rib cage, we open our hands out to the side so that our palms are facing forwards, and then we bring them back together. So as I do this, I'm really thinking about squeezing those shoulder blades together along my back. So squeeze and then come back, and squeeze and come back. Nice. Okay, stay there if you don't have a band, keep going. If you do have a band, all we do is we just hold on, wrap our band around our hand, and then we pull it apart in the same way. So with this one, I always like to practice with my elbows tucked into my side. Beautiful. Nice work, everyone. And we're breathing here. I'm still sweating from our cardio, I think. Here we go. Okay, we've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Great work. All right. Our next muscle we're going to work out is our bicep. So if we don't have a weight for this one, a great way to build some resistance is grabbing something around the house that is a little bit heavy. So it could be something as simple as your water bottle, or sometimes I've had clients in the past use like cans of soup. They're usually around a pound or two, so they can be a great starting place. For our bicep curls, keeping tummy really tight in our beautiful posture. Arm extends down beside us. Again, we're gonna think about keeping our elbow tucked into our rib cage, and all we're gonna do is bring our hand to that same shoulder and then back down. So squeezing that muscle on the front side of your arm there. Good, okay. This could also be done just totally non-weight bearing, or not non-weight bearing. No weights, I should say, just body weight. Squeeze. So maybe I'm thinking of holding like a rock in this hand. So I'm thinking of holding something heavy to build that resistance there. Awesome work. If we've got our band, we've got a couple different options. We can tuck it under our leg, or we can just step on it. That's sometimes easier. Wrapping it up so we've got enough tension there. And the same thing, we pull it up and we come down. Good work. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's start our countdown. Here we go. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, you got it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome, awesome job. Okay, switching to the other side. So either using our weight or using a water bottle, or maybe nothing at all, and just having that image of something really heavy in our hands. Or if we're using our band, we can easily just step on the one end or place it on something that's a little bit heavier, that's gonna keep it super steady. Elbow stays tucked to the side. We lift our hand up to our same side of our shoulder and back down. Nice work, everyone. You got it. Hopefully you'll feel some arm muscles develop with this one. It's a good one to practice. Okay, we've got 10 more here. Here we go. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome, awesome work. Okay, shake it out if you need to. Whew. Sometimes it feels good to just be really tense and then to just let everything go loosey-goosey. All right, we've got one more exercise for our upper body, and that is our triceps. So again, a super important muscle if we are transferring or even just pushing up to come from a seated position to a standing position from a chair, really to help us really get nice and strong and take some of the pressure off our legs sometimes. So our triceps have a lot of different variations, and I'm going to show you all today. We're going to start with the band, if you've got the band. So we're wrapping it up. We're putting our arm sort of in that same place that we started, but this time we're holding a little bit lower, perhaps, of our band. We're starting with my water bottle. We're starting with an elbow bent position. So elbows can still be tucked into side if we like. And all we're doing is just that extension piece of our elbow. So extending down and extending down. Beautiful. Okay, option number 1 with the band. If that is you, this is your exercise for triceps. If you've got a weight and you want to practice with a weight, we've got a couple options too. I like to do the weight with both hands. So I just find it easier for a safety perspective. If it's a weight that's a little bit heavy and we're worried about dropping it, it's always better to have 2 hands. So what this one's going to look like, let me scoot back a little bit so you can see me. So we're going to lift our weight above our head. Our elbows are going to squeeze our ears. We lower the weight behind our head and we come straight back up. That's a really good option as well to get some nice tricep extension in a little bit of a different position. Now, this one can be tricky if you don't have full range of motion at the shoulder, or it's painful to get our shoulders up. So the other option here is to do it with a little bit more body weight. Let's turn my chair sideways. So I'm already sitting on the edge of my chair. All I'm going to do is place my hands on the seat and scoot my hips forward to a place where they just hover off the seat of the chair. Then what I'm going to do is do a little bend in my elbow and then come straight back up. Little bend in my elbow and straight back up. So the deeper you bend, the lower your hips go, the harder it's going to be to lift up. So a great place to start is just that little bend and then push up. And then as you get stronger, you can go lower and lower Oh, that's tough. My arms are shaking. Okay, so pick whichever option suits you best. I'm going to stay here just because this is where I am. And we're going to do 10 more. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Holy guacamole, that was a killer for my arms. Before we move to our lower extremities, let's take a water break. Oh, I have a feeling, excuse me, that my arms are going to feel like Jello tomorrow. Sometimes that's a good feeling because you know you've had a good workout. But sometimes you're like, I could really use my arms today. Okay, we are moving to our lower extremity. So we're going to start at our hips, work all the way down to our toes, and then we'll do a nice relaxing stretch at the end. All right, so our first exercise with our hips is our kicks. So really activating our quadriceps at the front side of our legs. So we're alternating here. Now, I've got a few participants in the class that have ankle weights, so weights that wrap around the ankle and sort of Velcro strap there. This is a great exercise for our ankle weights. Now, if you don't have them though, it can still be a killer exercise just with your body weight. The way that we make this harder is not about how high the leg is. The leg doesn't have to be high to get this muscle activating at all. The way we make it harder is we hold it there. We could draw a little circle, or we could take a nice deep breath, and then we relax down to the other side. We hold it there, little circle, take a deep breath, whatever suits you best, and then lower it down. That is how we make it harder. If you're like, Kiersten, I've already done like 30 minutes of work, I'm feeling kind of tired, stick with me. We're just gonna march one foot and then with the other foot. Okay, the other really important part of this exercise is to sit up nice and tall. So even you can tell the past little ones that I did, I had the tendency to roll backwards in not the greatest posture. So I'm gonna catch myself sitting up nice and tall as I practice here. Sometimes I find it helpful to place my hands on my belly to remind me, or sometimes my hips to remind me to be in nice posture. Okay, here we go. We've got 10 more on each side. Actually, let's just do 10 altogether. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome, awesome work. Whew. Our next muscle group that we're going to work is a part of our glute muscle group. So it is our gluteus medius, or on the outside of our hip muscle. And this muscle is super, super important in balance. So if you are finding that your balance is maybe becoming a little bit tricky, try this exercise and see how it feels. And I bet you that with some practice, you're going to see a change in your balance as well. So we will need the bands for this one, or we'll do it without. I'll show you both options, but let's start with the banded option. So all we do is we wrap the band above our knees, and you can either tie it in a knot, or I just can hold it with one hand. I find that's just as easy. What we're going to do in this one is try to push both knees apart so they open up, squeezing our glutes, sitting up nice and tall, and then coming back in. And squeeze and in. So that is where we are with the bands, okay? Now, I didn't say this before, but I'll say it now. If you're like, I'm not really sure how to use a band, I've never used it before. The tighter we pull the band, the harder we have to pull out with our legs. So if you want to make it harder with the band that you're using, that is a great option. If you're like, it's really, really hard for me to push out, loosen the band. So make it less tight, and that will make it easier. So less resistance to push against. All right, now, if you're like, I don't even have a band, no problem. This is our option. We take both hands, we place them to the outside of our knee. We push our knees to our hands, and our hands are acting like big walls that aren't going to let our knees go super past them. As soon as I do that to myself, I can feel my glutes activate right away. Okay, so and when we don't have the band, it actually doesn't really look like we're doing a whole lot because our arms are resisting that movement in our knees. but I promise you, it's a really great exercise to practice just with no movement at all. So in physio, what we call that is an isometric contraction. So our muscle is working against resistance, but there's no movement occurring. It's a really great way to strengthen, especially if you don't have equipment. It can be really, really effective. Okay, let's do 10 more here. We've got 10, 9, 8, you got it, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome work. All right, our next muscle group is our inner thigh muscles. The way that we work that is the opposite of what we just did. So we've just worked on getting our knees open. Now we want to get them closed. So if we don't have a band, we have a couple options. We can use our hands as a bit of a wall, to something to press against, or you can use something like a pillow or even like your water bottle. My water bottle is a bit squishy, but you can squeeze your water bottle, just something there to work against. So as I do that, I'm really thinking of really squeezing it so that if somebody came by, they wouldn't be able to grab it out from between my legs and then having a break in between. So squeeze, 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 and then relax. Good. Okay, if we don't have a band, that is our exercise. Way you go. If we do have a band, it looks a little bit different for this one because we have to do one side at a time. So again, we take the band, we loop it over our knee, and this time the tails come out the outer part of our leg. So we create our resistance with this hand here, and I'm going to start with my knee from an outwards position, and I'm going to draw it back into the middle and then open it back out. So I'm really pulling against the band to get my knee in, and out. Good work. Nice job. Okay, let's start our countdown here. So we've got 5, we've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work. Okay, if you don't have the band and you've just done like a million of those squeezes, please feel free to take a break. We're going to catch up to you in just a sec. If we are using the band, we are switching to the other side. So band goes around our leg, just above our knee, tails come to the outside. We start from an open position and we bring our knee in. Squeeze. Good work. Squeeze. Nice job, everyone. You got it. Squeeze. Good. Okay, let's start our countdown. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Okay, great. Let's move on to our hamstrings. Hamstrings are a tricky one for us to do in this position, but I'm going to show you what I've come up with and see how it works with your body today. So we're not going to use the band for this one, so we're all going to do the same exercise. We are going to sit, let me scoot back just a little bit more. Sit up nice and tall in our chair. We're going to extend one leg out in front of us. Our other leg is our stability leg. So this bent leg is going to stay exactly where it is. Our straight leg is going to be our working leg, or the leg that's moving. We are going to think about driving our heel into the floor to build some resistance. So if you were on like a hardwood floor or something that's a little bit smoother, you might need to like put something on your foot that's going to be less sticky, or it's going to be more sticky. So maybe taking a sock off or popping a shoe on to create a little bit more resistance. If you're like me and you're on carpet, this works really well with any type of footwear. So I'm driving my heel into the floor. I'm thinking of pushing it down. And as I push down, I'm going to bend my knee and I'm going to think about driving my foot kind of underneath my chair. So it's at that hamstring curl position. And then again, we reset and we start again. So we pull, 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 pull. Hamstring is activated on the backside of our leg. And then we reset there. So the harder you push down into the floor, the harder it's going to be to move your leg, right? If this is really hard and you want to make it easier, say you're more of a range of motion activity, you could do this on a really slippery surface with a sock on and just work range of motion this way. So 2 different options depending on what our goal is really, to build strength or to build some more increasing our range of motion. Okay, we've got 5 more here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Switching to the other side. So our working leg that was just working is going to stay bent. Our other leg is going to extend. We pull back, 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 back with that leg, pushing our heel into the ground, and then we reset. Good work, everyone. Nice job. And again, I'm sitting up nice and tall and finding that nice posture as I go, trying my best to keep my back off the backrest of the chair. Nice job. Starting our countdown. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. All right, moving down to our calves and our ankles. So this is our option that we can do in sitting or standing. So I'm going to show you sitting, and then I'll stand up and show you what standing looks like. So in sitting, again, this can be tricky for our balance. So if we want to work on our balance, I would bring our legs closer together. And if balance is not in our wheelhouse today, popping our legs slightly further apart was a great option as well. To work our calf muscles, we are going to come up onto our tippy toes and straight back down. Up to our tippy toes and straight back down, okay? So if we're sitting, this is our exercise. Way you go, you got it. If we are standing today, we are going to find something really steady to hold on to. So the chair that you were just sitting on typically works really well. We are going to make sure we have something stable. Again, wider feet is going to be easier for our balance. Narrower feet is going to be a little bit trickier. So I lift up onto my tippy toes and I come back down. Up onto my tippy toes and come back down. Now, with this one, I am a very big stickler in the clinic for alignment. So what I don't like to see, I'll turn this way so you can see, is this. This is like nails on a chalkboard for me. It is not great for the outside of our ankles and just doesn't feel very good overall. So how I get rid of that is I really think about keeping all 5 toes on each foot on the ground. So I'm not more on my pinky foot or my pinky toe, sorry, or I'm not more on my big toe. I kind of say everything right in the middle. And I find that that really helps me. If you are practicing with your legs closer together, it's much easier because you can just zip everything up the middle and make sure you stay centered. But it's when you get wider that I see this a lot. So trying your best to keep right on your toes here. Okay, we've got 10 more here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. All right, our very last exercise, you guys, we've made it to the end of our strength. Awesome, awesome work, is our toe taps. Super simple, can also be done in sitting or standing, but I'll show you sitting. All we do is we tap, we lift our toes up to the ceiling and then we lower them down. So we rock back onto our heels and we lower them down. The reason why I really like this one is that when I was treating adults in the clinic, a common thing that I would hear is that they were having trouble with tripping. And that is often, not always, but often, a weakness in a muscle called our tibialis anterior. So it runs down the front side of our shins and works to lift our toes up. So when that muscle is weak, it makes doing things like walking really tricky because it's super easy to catch our toes underneath us. So this is a great exercise to pull out when you're sitting watching TV, or maybe you're sitting on the bus going somewhere, because most people don't really realize that you're exercising, but it's a really, really effective tool to strengthen that muscle and to keep us really strong and not tripping. All right, we've got 10 more here. It's like I'm not even working out. 10, 9, 8, 7, you got it. 6, lift higher, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome, awesome job, everyone. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. It is time to cool down. If you need some water, please feel free to have a little water break here. Okay, starting our cool down, we're going to start with our ankle circles. So one foot reaches out in front. We draw some circles with our ankles in one direction, and then we switch directions. There we go. Nice. Okay, let's do the other side. Swapping sides. Here we go. Nice work. Maybe finding a little bit more range. I'm going to switch directions. A little bit more range of motion than we had prior to the class. That would be an added benefit. Maybe things just feel a little bit looser. Also really, really great. All right, both feet planted on the floor. Let's stretch out our hamstrings, which are often really tight when we haven't been doing a lot of activity. For me, they're like the first thing that I feel my body that gets really tight. So we are going to extend one leg out in front of us. Our other leg stays nice and bent to the floor. We slide our hands forward, tipping our chest closer to our toes. Our hands can either rest in 3 places. It can rest on the front of our leg on our thigh muscle. It can reach down to our shins or perhaps right down to our toes. The only place our hand is not allowed to be is directly on our kneecap. I don't like the idea of putting pressure through there. So either above or below or toes. Those are our options. We find whatever feels best and we take 3 deep breaths here. Now, if you are finding like, this is really painful, like this is maybe really painful in my leg, or maybe my back is really painful, totally fine. This shouldn't be painful. So come back up a little bit. Okay. So finding that place where you feel that gentle stretch down the backs of our side of our leg, holding there for 2 more deep breaths. And 1 more. Nice job. Switching to the other side. So extending one leg long, sliding that hand forward to either on top of our thigh, down our shin, or maybe towards our toes, making sure there's no pain and holding there for 3 deep breaths. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Slowly coming back up. All right. Our next exercise is for our hips. So some range of motion in our hips. I like to hold on to my seat for this one just because I find it a little bit easier. But if you want to practice balance, it would be great to do this with hands free as well. So what we're going to do is bring one knee up to our chest. We open it up to the side and draw a big circle with that knee. So I always like to think of this as drawing or opening up the pages of a book. So twisting that hip open, open, open. Good. Let's do 1 more. And open. Good. Opposite direction. So we lift our knee out to the side, comes up to our chest, and then lowers down the center. So now we're thinking of closing our book. Good work. Taking some nice deep breaths here. One more. Switching to the other side. So up to your chest, out to the side, and then around the front. Nice work. 1 more. And then opposite direction this time. So opening out to the side, bringing it up towards our chest, and then lowering it through the center. That's it. Good work, everyone. Nice job. Good work. 1 more. Awesome work. Okay, let's do some spinal twists here. So we're going to reach all the way behind us. I'm going to use my backrest so that I get a little bit more of a twist. I can kind of use it to leverage myself around a little bit more. If that feels good in your back, go for it. If there's any pain in your back, you just know that you've gone a little bit too far. So come back a little bit away from that twist. We sit up nice and tall. We look all the way behind us. We take 3 deep breaths here. There's 1. There's 2. And 3, coming back to the center nice and slow and repeating on the other side. So twisting over, being so far behind us. 3 deep breaths here. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Slowly coming back to the center. Amazing. Let's stretch out our sides again, just like how we started the class. So taking one arm up, reaching it up and over your body. I'm going to place my other hand on my opposite leg to sort of counterbalance myself, reaching and stretching, and then coming all the way back up, switching to the other side. reaching up. We like to call this one my banana stretch because I think I look like a banana. Try it one more time on each side. Big stretch, opening up those rib cages a little bit more. And one more on the other side. Reach, reach, reach. And come up. Beautiful. All right, let's do our arms. So we've got a couple different options for our tricep stretch. Both are gonna start the same. So we're gonna reach one arm out to the side. If range of motion is tricky in our shoulder, our best option is gonna be to take that arm, to bring it across our body, and then with our other hand, we scoop underneath and give a gentle pull. Now, it is so important in this one that we don't feel any pain or pinching. If we do, we know we've pulled the stretch a little bit too far and just back off a little bit, and that should be fine. Now, if we're here and this is our stretch today, we hold for 3 deep breaths. If we're like, I'm not really that keen on this one, the other tricep stretch reaches that same arm out to the side. This time it comes up and over our head, bending at the elbow. Our other hand reaches up and grabs a hold of that elbow and gives a gentle pull. Now, this one requires quite a lot of range of motion in our shoulders, so it might not feel the best, but give it a try. Pick which option you feel works best for you today, and take 3 deep breaths here. I'm gonna stick with this one. There's 1, 2, and 3. Slowly bring your arms back down, repeating on the other side. So if we're doing our first stretch, we reach arm out to the side, it comes across our body, our other hand scoops underneath and gives a gentle pull. Let me stay there, okay? The other one, our arm reaches out to the side, elbow bends, and the hand reaches over top of our head. Other hand reaches up, gives a gentle pull. That one. Nice work. Staying there for 3 deep breaths. 1, 2, 3. Nice work. Slowly bring your hands back down. Okay, let's do some shoulder rolls. Bring shoulders up to our ears and down at the back. Nice work, everyone. Finding that breath as we cool down here in our last final stretches. Okay, let's switch directions. So up towards the back, down towards the front. That's it. Let's do one more. Awesome. Okay, let's stretch out our neck a little bit. I always know that I have a lot of tension in my neck. And if you are someone who works at a desk job or in front of a computer for long periods of the day, you might find that your neck is really tense too. This one's my favorite one. So all we do is we take our ear to our shoulder, bending sideways at our head. If that feels like a really nice stretch down the side of our neck, beautiful. If we want to make the stretch a little bit deeper, we just take that same hand on that side and give a tiny bit of pressure. So it's not yanking our head down. Sometimes I just think about even enough pressure is just resting your hand on your head. Let's take one more deep breath here. Nice work. Slowly releasing your hand and then coming back up to center. Switching on the other side. So ear to your shoulder, bending down. And if we need a little bit more resistance, we take that same hand and we just gently place it onto the side of our head to deepen that stretch. One more deep breath. Nice work. Releasing our hands, slowly bring our head back up to center. All right, our very last stretch of the class, we reach both hands right up to the ceiling. We get as long and as tall as we possibly can. We reach up, 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 up. Then we tip our chin to our chest. Hands come down to our lap and we slide them forward, 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 over our knees, towards our toes to get a nice big stretch in our low back. Again, there should be no pain here. So if you're experiencing any pain, you walk those hands back up to a place that is pain-free and you take 3 deep breaths here. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. We slowly roll up to a nice tall seated position. Our hands reach up overhead for one last big stretch. And then we bring our hands to the center and we give ourselves a nice big round of applause or a pat on the back for some awesome, awesome work today. All right, and that is the end of our class. So what I will say to finish up today is that make sure you drink lots and lots of water after the class. We've just worked really, really hard, so give yourself some really nice hydration. If you haven't attended one of our movement therapy classes before, what are you waiting for? Come and join us. We have so much fun. We are currently having classes on Mondays at 3 p.m. Everyone is welcome. Even if you're like, I just want to tune in for the cardio stuff at the beginning, come. We love having new people. I'm constantly thinking of new exercises. So it might look different to this class or it might look similar. It just depends on the week. And if you have any feedback about the class, I'm always open to feedback. So send the Cerebral Palsy Association an email and with like, hey, I love the class, or hey, you know what? I would love to work on this in the movement therapy class. And I'm totally flexible to trying new things with everyone. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the class and I hope you got a really good sweat on like I did. And I hope to see you soon. Bye, guys.